Jai Shri Mataji, respected brothers and sisters from the global Sahaj family. Salam sejahtera dari Malaysia. Warm greetings from Malaysia. Let us now bow and welcome Shri Mataji into our hearts with utmost love and respect for our Divine Mother, the Supreme Goddess, for the divinity within us, for our fellow Sahaj family, for ourselves and mankind in general. Now, with our hands folded and with complete reverence, we will pray to our Holy Mother, Param Puja Shri Mataji. We, your children from across the world, humbly seek your permission, blessings, guidance, and protection to have this global online meditation. Shri Mataji, it is only by your divine grace and blessings that we are able to gather every week to worship your holy lotus feet collectively. We sincerely thank you, Shri Mataji, from the core of our hearts for this wonderful opportunity. Shri Mataji, our only desire is to please you, to ascend in our spirituality, and to be a humble instrument in every way possible. Our humble salutations to you, Shri Mataji, at your holy lotus feet, again and again, from all your children. Today, brothers and sisters, we are indeed blessed again to have another wonderful, a very universal and colorful sister in the name of One Pen, or better known as Saraswati to most of us. She's from Thailand. She received her self-realization in 1986 in Switzerland, and together with her family, moved to Thailand after Shri Mataji told her parents to move there. Sister Van Pen or Saraswati has a long list of credentials that we can talk about. A very, very dynamic and devoted and dedicated Sahaja Yogini. She's also a diploma holder of Indian classical dance, which is Bharatanatyam. Let's put our hands together to welcome our dear sister, a very beautiful sister from Thailand, who is of Thai French parentage. Over to you, Sister Saraswati. Jai Shri Mataji.
Well, thank you so much, Maheshwari. Actually, you already said the scene really beautifully with your few words of introduction to Shri Mataji herself and your kind words with regard to my profile very briefly. So I think we can get straight then into meditation, and I'll be happy to say a few words further at the end, maybe to explain a bit my journey in Sahaja Yoga since the early 80s. Yeah, without further ado, let me guide you straight into meditation. Very honored to be with you today. So let us all together, if you haven't done so yet, raise our Kundalini, put ourselves in Bandhan, and we can bow to Shri Mataji as well. And let us get into meditation. Thank you very much. So let us start with a few minutes of meditation, and then we'll listen to our excerpt of a talk of Shri Mataji from apologies. Sorry about that. So we will then listen to a talk of Shri Mataji from 2002 at Ganesh Puja. But just let us first get more deeply into meditation. And to get us into meditation, let us watch Shri Mataji's photograph for a few seconds, few minutes, to just really bring our self in the center. We can focus our attention on the red dot on Shri Mataji's forehead for a few seconds, just really to center our attention in the present moment. Then let us start with balancing the right side and left side. We can start with the right side channel, with lifting our left hand over the shoulder, using the air, the ether to cool down our right side. Let us surrender all our thoughts related to the future or any mental projections, any tension related to our action or planning. Let us surrender it all to the all-pervading energy. And we pray within our heart that, Oh Mother, I surrender all my thoughts to you, all my plans, all my future simply to you, all my actions and the fruits of my action. Mother, I'm just a pure instrument. I'm not the doer. So let all the stress and all the tension on the right side be absorbed by the air element. Then let us switch and remove a bit the tension and the negativity from the left side, on the left side channel, so that we can keep our left hand on the lap comfortably and have our right hand fold towards the floor if we're sitting on a chair, or directly placed on the earth. And here we put our attention on the immensity of Mother Nature, Mother Earth, and let us pray to this Mother Earth to absorb all the tensions, all the negativity on our left side. Any sad emotions, any negative emotion, let it be absorbed by the earth. Then let us keep the attention on the earth for a few more seconds, and we can just bring our attention to on the first chakra, Muladhara chakra, and let us say in our heart, from the bottom of our heart, let us sing this four times, the mantra of Sri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Now from the base of this from the base of the spinal cord, the level of the Muladhara chakra, let us raise our attention along the spinal cord up to the Sahasrara chakra, seventh chakra on top of our head. And let us humbly invite the Kundalini energy to really reside, open our Sahasrara chakra and help us establish and deepen our yoga, our union with the all-pervading energy of the divine. Let us be in silence for a few moments with our attention on the top of our head. And let us try to really be in silence. If any thoughts come in, let it go. Let the thought pass. Or let us surrender all the thoughts or emotions, anything that comes to disturb our attention. Let us surrender it to the all-pervading energy. And so let us find that space between the thoughts. Let us remain in that silence. And then with our attention on top of our head, in that beautiful inner peace, let us listen to those few words of Shri Mataji, this excerpt from the Sri Ganesha Puja from the year 2002, for a little while.
Today we have gathered here to worship Sri Ganesha. Sri Ganesha is the deity of innocence. When we are born as children, it is Sri Ganesha who is acting, and we are very innocent. And it is such a powerful thing that with this innocence, children survive under many circumstances. And we love them because they are innocent. We enjoy them because they are innocent. Once we start growing, our sastra also gets closed, and we develop all kinds of funny things that enters into us and doesn't go out. It's just there. It doesn't go out. Innocence has a great effect on our character and on our sense of chastity. Actually, when you are innocent, you don't know what is not chastity. What is being unchaste? What is being cunning? You are innocent and you are looked after by Sri Ganesha himself. Anybody who tries to harm an innocent person, Sri Ganesha looks after him and manages him. Many people who are innocent in this world, of course there are very few, but they become so detached from all worldly problems like lust and greed and many others, because they are so pure that nothing can spoil them and malign them. This is such a great blessings we have, that innocence is actually created in us. And it was created much before all the innocence. Everything was created much, much before we were created. It's such a great quality for us to become innocent. The greatest quality of Sri Ganesha is joy. It gives you joy. As small children, they may not speak even, but they give us so much joy. Joy-giving quality comes from Sri Ganesha. Even after coming to Sahaja Yoga, I have seen people are not full of joy. They're very serious. They don't know how to laugh, have to enjoy anything. That's the sign that they are still lacking in innocence. So, it's important to understand that if you are Sahaja Yogis, you should be joyous and give joy to others, just like children, how sweet they are. They may be newly born, but how much joy they give you. But supposing you do not have that capacity to enjoy the innocence of children, then nobody can help you. Ganesha cannot help you, because that's the innate quality human beings have. And if you don't have that quality, no use having any other sense. Like some people like food, they like colors, they like all other things. But if you don't have Sri Ganesh, you cannot purely enjoy anything. So it is only Sri Ganesha's blessings that we really enjoy everything in its full measure. Otherwise, we start judging it, we start criticizing it. People raise so many things, questions. If you see something and it gives you joy, then you are supposed to give the explanation for that. As we have many critics in this world, and they are all the time criticizing one another. Now the critics are criticizing critics. This is the biggest problem. That's their job. Because Ganesha is not there. And they go on criticizing others, never criticizing themselves, and thinking no end of themselves. And with that, they create a very bad kind of a community, which is actually very harmful. It's very dangerous. It's like having some sort of a boil or some sort of a septic thing in your body, in your being. So, if you cannot appreciate and if you cannot enjoy it, then Sri Ganesha is missing from you. You should be able to enjoy everything and to enjoy your children, enjoy children of other people. That's the sign of your being completely blessed by Sri Ganesha. Now the beauty of Sri Ganesha is this, that it looks after your Kundalini. It guards your Kundalini. It guides your Kundalini, and throughout, on all the chakras, he has to bless you. If you don't have the blessings of Sri Ganesh, you will be completely useless fellow as a Sahaja. Because all the time you are seeing the bad points of others. All the time you are devoiding, I should say, you are getting into a problem by which you cannot enjoy anything. By temperament you think you are very serious, you are very mature, you are very developed, but you are not innocent. Such a person gives such a headache to everyone. If there's one like that in the family, people want to get rid of. So you should have the quality of Sri Ganesha, which is of giving joy to others. Depends on how much joy you can give it to others. It doesn't want anything. Such a person won't say that I must get this, I must have this position, I should be leader, I should be this and that. No. He just enjoys giving joy. Joy to others and being humorous and kind, and never tries to insult anyone and hurt anyone. If such a person hurts, by mistake also, he goes on repenting about it. And 100 times he'll beg your pardon if he has hurt you. Such a happy person is a real Sahaja. That's the one we want to have all around. Those who have no hatred for anyone, no malice for anyone, and not finding faults with another, but trying to find what is the good point of that person. What is so special about that person? It's not bothered as to what color you are, whether you are black or white, whether you are tall or short. It makes no difference, because it is absolute joy. And for this absolute joy, you don't criticize and you don't try to find faults with others. Now the problem is that people are getting very much advanced in this modern era, very advanced, and they are very much more advanced in criticizing others, I think. That's the maxim they have, is to criticize others. And also they have another very bad quality, to identify themselves with the country in which they live or with the family which they are. I've seen it create such a problem. Also, they identify themselves with the different religions they follow. Well, imagine from this how many problems have come up, that you start differentiating between one and another. For example, now supposing who is born, say, in one place. So he says he is the best. His country is the best. His people are the best. And there's nothing wrong with them. On the contrary, if a person is a real Sahaja who has Ganesha within him, enlightened, then he sees it and enjoys the humor behind it. The humor of all these people, what they are mad after, how they behave, I mean the way he understands, the jokes behind it, jokes which is avoiding reality. And reality is only possible if you are in the realm of joy. Otherwise, all the time you find something wrong, something upsetting, so something disturbing. But if you see the humor behind everything, then you are perfectly all right. For example, I would say that I have had many such experiences, that people have told me, "Mother, such and such fellow is like that, such and such fellow is like that." So, I would ask that person, "Are you like that?" Direct. I said, "No, I'm not like that." But I said, "Why everybody sees that in you? This must be wrong. All of them must be wrong, or you are wrong." Then he would say, "Maybe myself." And that's how, you see, you can mold also such people who think that they are correct and the rest of the world is all bad. And they have every right to hate them and to think in the wrong direction. What happens with that is that you lose the essence of joy. Essence of joy is in seeing in everything the source of joy. Supposing you see something here, now if it is odd, it should give you also great sense of humor. If it is beautiful, it should give you another sense of appreciation. But I can't understand people who go on harping on some sort of a thing that has no meaning in their lives, nor in the lives of others. I would say my father had a great capacity to do that. Once I went home, so I said my brother was praising this man for his music. What do you think, his friend? He said, "He is a musician, no doubt, but he is very courageous." I said, "Why?" "Because he may go on singing anything, he never feels bad about it. Everybody might be nervous or everybody might be laughing at it, but he is not at all bothered. He goes on singing in his own ways." So that is the beauty of understanding every defect in a person can be enjoyed. It's very much a sense, I should say, a very subtle sense by which you can enjoy every person. If he has defects, then you enjoy them as humorous thing. And if he has something very good, then also you can enjoy. So why do you shun people? Why should you get out of people, criticize them for nothing wrong? Now, under these, people have built up big organizations. For example, the Catholics will help the Protestants. The Protestants will I'm saying, they will also sort of hate the people who are Catholic. What's the use of that? What's the use of hating each other from that point that somebody is a Protestant or somebody is a Catholic? Just see yourself, see what is wrong with you. Why do you think like that? Why do you look at those things and always think that another person, something wrong with him? And then you form groups and then you fight. You can have even wars with this kind of an idea that another person is not all right and you are absolutely perfect. This is also with the country I've seen. For example, even in Sahaja Yoga I've seen, if somebody is coming, say, from India or from another country anywhere, the leader will be anxious that he should or she should put her candidate before. It's such an identification which they are not still conscious of it. But then I play my tricks, you see. All such things when they do, when they try to support one party, one type of people from one, we should say not religion now, but the countries. So this country identification is so much still in Sahaja Yoga that you come from one country, then you want to support that man from that country. You'll never appreciate that whosoever is good coming from any country is a Sahaja Yogi. We are a global community. We are not to be identified with one country, that our people should be married, that we should get our people there. All this kind of thing I have noticed, and I feel very sorry that you have not understood the nature of Sahaja Yoga. Sahaja Yoga is a global thing, absolutely global. It has nothing to do with one country or with one person. It's such a global thing that if you see the subtle side of it, it's very joy-giving. God Almighty has created this world as well. They might have United Nations, they might have this, they might have that, but still they are so much identified with their country that they cannot correct also that country. Now, for example, something is wrong with your country, they cannot. For them, everything is all right first, because they were born in that particular country. Or they appreciate some other country, so they'll go on praising that country to such an extent that they are destroyed and their ideas also destroy people. So best thing is to see the joke behind being identified with one country. There's a big joke about it. I enjoy it very much. Among Sahaja Yogis also I've seen. It's very common that they are identified with one country. If you are identified, then you should try to correct that country. You should try to correct those countrymen who are following a particular type of ideologies. They never see that because they are so much involved with them that they don't see what's wrong with them. They'll always see what's wrong with others. But I've seen those who are real Sahaja Yogis are very good. They tell me what's wrong in their own country, what's going wrong in their own country, what's the trouble in their own country, how the countrymen are. You see, very surprising. I was surprised how people told me that how some people who are in their country are so misidentified. They are so against Sahaja Yoga in a subtle manner. I was surprised how they felt it that way. They said, Mother, see, they are not at all global. Once you become global, all your problems of provinces and things are finished. But that doesn't come into their head, that we have to be global. We are Sahaja Yogis. We cannot identify ourselves with one country on another country. If we do that, then we are still lacking in our universal personality. And this universal personality comes to us from Sri Ganesh. He is a universal personality. Whether he is in India, whether he is in Italy or in England. What is that personality? Is innocence. Very innocence, very much innocent. And not only that, but he is a joy-giving personality. All such people who are joy-giving are recognized. It's not that the world doesn't recognize. They may not be knowing that they are global, but those who are global people write books on global ways, thinking about global things. And they can criticize also people of their own country. They can criticize people of their own clan. They can go on like that. But they can be slavish also to some other country and try to praise them too much. So you are not to be slavish. You have to not to be identified. But you should be identified with yourself. And whatever yourself enjoys, that should be expressed. That is the sign that your Ganesha is there. And that Ganesha is working out. It's very important for leaders to understand this. Because I've seen the way they are identified with their countrymen is sometimes shocking to me. I'm really shocked. How could they be? They are not belonging to any country. They are no more. They are in the country of Sri Ganesha, which is the country of love and joy. If you cannot give joy and love, then there's something wrong with it. With this only, his quality, people become chaste. Because chastity is a very joy-giving thing, very joy. It is not a thing that you have to tell somebody or to force somebody or to restrict somebody, but it is to enjoy it, to enjoy yourself and enjoy the chastity of another person. Is such a great blessing of Sri Ganesha. Such a great blessing that you enjoy your own chastity. You are not bothered about the another person. He is chaste or not, if he is doing bad things, if he is a ruined person, doesn't matter. You don't get spoilt with that. You have your own chastity, your own life of very chaste moments. It is nowadays such a modern style of thinking is flowing towards unchaste life and all kinds of wrong ideas about chastity. If somebody now talks of chastity, people think this must be mad. How can that be? Everything is done these days, if you see. All the fashions are there. Now once a fashion starts, it goes on spreading. Then everybody will dress up in the same manner. They have no personality of their own. Everybody will be going around in the same manner. Especially the women have lost their sense of chastity. They have lost their sense of chastity because the way they dress up sometimes shocks me. What is it up like this?
Let us remain in silence for a few moments and let us try to absorb, imbibe, internalize those beautiful words of Shri Mataji and that really strong message that we should really be able to share, disseminate that joy from our hearts. So let us imbibe the vibrations from that talk, and let's try to feel that within us. The joy that emanates from Sri Ganesha within us, the spirit within us. Let us feel how it's radiating and enlightening our whole body within, and just showering us with blessings. Perhaps we can bring our right hand on our heart chakra for a little while, so that we can feel that source of joy also that emanates from our spirit, the true spirit, the pure spirit, which resides in our heart. And let us breathe within that our Mother, please come in my heart. Let me cleanse my heart so that you are there. Let your feet, your holy feet, be worshipped in my heart. And let me be able to share and radiate that joy and that love for the divine that we have within, that love for the sacred force, for the divine, for everything that is pure and holy. And from the attention in our heart, let us bring it also now to the seventh chakra, on top of our head. We can bring back the right hand on our heart, on our lap. Bring the attention to the top of the head, the Sahasrara chakra. And then with our attention on the Sahasrara chakra, maybe we can sing the Maha Mantras, or you can play, the Sahasrara, the mantra of the Sahasrara chakra.
त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्षप्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।
So perhaps we can end it here and thank Shri Mataji from the bottom of our heart for the vibration and for this soothing meditation. And let us put ourselves in Bandhan, use our Kundalini and bow to Shri Mataji. Then maybe you can leave some music on for a few minutes for anyone who would want to meditate a bit some more. Leave it in your hand, Maishwari. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Saraswati. A very peaceful meditation. Thank you, Sister, again for the very peaceful meditation, and we thank Shri Mataji for bringing you here today to lead the session, and hope you can share some beautiful experiences with Shri Mataji. You can turn on your camera now.
Thank you very much for that. I know maybe you have a kind of a standard pattern for your meditation. Somehow the arty, since it's a bit of a remote and I didn't feel the crowd around, I kind of, it skipped my mind.
It's all right. It's all right.
But yeah, thank you very much for inviting. It's really a pleasure to be with you. And I think it's a great timing, since we will in a few, I think in about 2 weeks, right? We're starting the Southeast Asia tour. I think it's great that we come together, at least as neighbor countries. So yeah, thank you for your question. I'd be happy to share a few words. Of course, as you indicated at the beginning, I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga since my not really my childhood, but I was maybe 15 years old when I started Sahaja Yoga, and essentially it was in the very early days, and of course, I mean, not that early. There were lots of yogis. We started in Switzerland, so there were lots of Sahajis around the world, you know, from the tour and the public program that Shri Mataji started giving around the world in the late 70s, and then in Europe. So it was really the golden years, I would say, of Sahaja Yoga, in terms of being able to meet Shri Mataji in person on a very frequent basis in Europe. She would tour Europe, so we would, you know, travel across Europe for incredible magical weekends. But I have to say that maybe the most cherished memory and very rare memories I have is essentially of the start of Sahaja Yoga in Thailand. So maybe I can say a few words about that, because it was really quite incredible how everything worked out, of course, you know, I mean, as all participants, I believe, are the established yogis, we know how this is how miracles are what's like common in Sahaja Yoga. But so just to say a bit the story, because it's quite interesting how it all started, how Sahaja Yoga Thailand essentially started from Madrid in Spain. So in a few words, I'll try to keep it short. There's so much detail and so many interesting turn and twist, you know, to the story. But so my father is from Thailand. My mother is French, as we said at the beginning. And my father was a career diplomat, so he was posted in many countries. That's why I was born, I said, in Vietnam, and grew up also in Switzerland, because my father was with the Thai embassy in Switzerland. So it just so happened that my father was ambassador of Thailand in Madrid, in Spain at the time, and Morocco and Tunisia. And so it was the years where Shri Mataji would travel across Europe, especially around the summer. So I would often go and visit my father while studying in France. And so one weekend, I decided to a long weekend, decided to go visit my father in Madrid. And it just so happened, I had not checked beforehand, but that Shri Mataji was also arriving in Madrid, and she was giving a public program. And so, you know, I was just so excited that it's just coincided. And so I took my father. I said, why don't we, I introduced you to Shri Mataji, and I explained the whole background. And of course, he had a strong interest in meditation, being Thai and very close to Buddhist philosophy, and so he came along, listen a bit to the public program. Nothing really exciting or special about that from his experience. But what was very interesting is that the next day Shri Mataji was leaving for Barcelona for a puja. I think it was precisely for the Buddha puja in Barcelona in 92. I was just relatively new in Sahaj after only 5-6 years. And so it so happened that at the airport, my father, used to ambassadorial duties. He approached Mataji, introduced himself as the ambassador of Thailand, and asked her about how her trip went in Spain, and so. But Mataji really went straight to the point, and she was like, "Oh, that's wonderful! You're from Thailand." And then he mentioned this, my daughter, and Shri Mataji said, yes, she told me it would be wonderful to start Sahaja Yoga in Thailand, and she said she's been wanting to go, but that there were no established yogis in Thailand. So that's correct, that we had not started. We were all living in Europe, myself and my brother and my mother. And so it just so happened that Shri Mataji then flew to Barcelona, and she invited my father to join along. He wasn't a yogi, but she invited him to come to Barcelona for the Buddha puja. And there, my mother came from Switzerland. She was, we were practicing Sahaja Yoga in Switzerland. I was myself studying in France. But anyway, she came with a Swiss collective to attend the Buddha puja in Barcelona. And of course, the news quickly spread, and I quickly rushed to tell my mother that Shri Mataji was keen to start Sahaja Yoga in Thailand. And so immediately in Barcelona, when we had the opportunity, through leaders, and my mother went and asked permission from Shri Mataji to essentially start Sahaja Yoga in Thailand, and it was very interesting. My parents were separated for many years. I mean, since I was a kid, because my father and ambassador duty traveled around the world, and we basically moved to France after Vietnam and settled down there and studied and all. So, but it just so happened that Shri Mataji said, "Oh, interestingly, I met the ambassador of Thailand in Madrid," and so that's how really Sahaja Yoga Thailand started, or at least the idea of it. And Shri Mataji said to my mother, she's a teacher, she thought she could continue. She had lived in Thailand a few years, so she thought she would continue her career as a teacher back in Thailand. So essentially, Shri Mataji said that if someone can go and start and make arrangement, then I would come. And it was the start of the Southeast Asia tour. I think the first few years after on her way back from Australia, Shri Mataji started stopping, in some of the Southeast Asian countries. And so that's how really my mother moved to Thailand. I helped her company to settle down. And so basically arrangements were made. And I think about 4 years in a row, Shri Mataji came. And it was really magical, and so I don't want to take too much of your time, but of course, just to share a few words of when Shri Mataji really arrived for the very first time,
Don't worry about the time, Saraswati, just
okay.
speak up. Just love to
Well,
listen.
I mean, it was really quite incredible for us. We were used to Shri Mataji meeting her in such crowds, huge crowds in Europe, and of course it was also the start of Sahaja Yoga in Central Asia, and so that the scope, the scale, of the crowds around Shri Mataji was quite really incredible. But so Shri Mataji came in Thailand. She came on her own. I think one or two yogis from abroad came along. Maybe I think one of the first times she had a young nephew traveling with her. But so we were really very a bit intimidated initially, and we're really trying hard to listen, and to learn about the whole protocol and things, how to welcome Shri Mataji. But she really came really like a mother, as she knows so well how to make us feel at ease, and to remove all the tensions about how things should be done. And so she was really like a mother. The very first year, she essentially came in our house. We had very little funds. I think some yogis, there were some collective that had helped us also, maybe from France and from Australia. We had a bit of funds to do some publicity and all, but essentially Shri Mataji came in our house the very first year, and she arrived. It took her so long to come from the airport. The traffic was bad, and our house, the first house we had, was a house my father allowed my mom to stay in by the river, really across town, really far away from the airport. But anyway, Shri Mataji came, sat down on the ground floor of our house, and she was like, she reflected, she was looking at my brother, and she said, "So how does it feel, Prakash?" She had given us names, my brother, Pascal Prakash. She had given me the name of Saraswati. So she really, how does it feel? And brother said, "Shri Mataji, it's really like in a dream, you being here." And then Shri Mataji said, it's quite, really, it took us by surprise, but she really said, it's really your love that brought me here, your love of your family that brought me here. And she said how the fact that we were the very first yogis, I suppose, from Thailand to have received our self-realization. And she said that the vibration of the country improve as more yogis receive their self-realization. And so that's really how Sahaja Yoga started in Thailand. And year after year, I think for 4 years consecutively, 4 or 5 years, I think 1 year there was a gap, but Shri Mataji came. And it's not that Sahaja Yoga in Thailand it is at a really, really large scale now. We have about 200 or more. I would say with upcountry a bit more, but still there were quite incredible stories along the way. And Shri Mataji was working on, as she does, working on newcomers. Was giving really, really very focused and personalized, guidance. And we had quite a few incredible stories there with Shri Mataji guiding people, and removing their catches and all, and cleaning, clearing them, opening the window, asking us to open the windows. She had her hands out the window to clear some of the blockages of some yogis, and also a few exciting developments with some senior politicians, and Shri Mataji, one of the last few years she came, we had tried to also arrange some meeting with some highly placed people, and she gave realization also there. And one of her really striking talk was that essentially she was meeting really high dignitaries, and they would ask, okay, are you here? Did you visit some temples? And like a bit of chit-chatting like that. And Shri Mataji was like, I came to build temples in the heart of human beings. And so,
Sweet.
you know, it just changes your perspective, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe I shall stop here. Of course, we'd be too happy to meet in person. You know, I think some of the yogis from the collectives in Malaysia and elsewhere in the region will be joining the
Yes.
Southeast Asia tour. So I think it's really timely. Also, we know that there's this ASEAN summit just a few days ago with you know, talks about greater cooperation within the countries of the region. So it's just so natural, and it's really timely that this happens as well at the Sahaj level
Yes.
for people-to-people connectivity, and I think it's a really blessed region of sub-region of the world, and we really can't wait to spread the vibrations around and spread that joy. And Sahaja Yoga being such a fantastic coping strategy, essentially for all the tensions, I think it's really the need of the hour.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really interesting listening to your stories, and must be really magical and memorable for you, cherish. And as you spoke, you can feel the vibrations. As Sri Mataji is just talking to us now. It felt like that, that it was amazing to listen to your stories and how Thailand started the journey of Sage Yoga, and how all of you have played a big role. I know Brother Prakash also for a long time, as much as I know you. It's lovely to have you today. And yeah, you were sharing that, Sri Mataji told you to be a journalist, and now you're in the UN.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah. Yes, she had told me to be a journalist. She was really keen on having, and I think several yogis around the world now as time goes, I come across yogis to whom Shri Mataji like maybe offered a pen, for them to write. So I think she was so much aware of the importance of
Media.
these types of skills, to be able to spread the message. It's so important to be able to really craft a narrative about the importance of Sahaja Yoga and how it can really bring essentially a solution to so many of the issues and conditions we face. So I think we have the solution. Essentially, it's a matter of really spreading the words. It's I think it's really communication that is key.
Yes.
Yeah, it just so happened that I started working with an intergovernmental organization, but essentially because of my background in journalism, because that's how I started with such type of position as information specialist. So
Yeah, it's
yes.
Great ambassador for yourself also, and for Sage Yoga, that you're in this field. So,
Yeah.
it was actually, it's all done by Sri Mataji, everything is, the timing and all, it's all done by Sri Mataji. Well, because we were trying to get Thailand to lead the session for a long time after Sister Nok did it some time ago.
Okay.
Almost
yeah.
2 years now.
Right.
So, it's been trying, but it just didn't work, and it has to work now. Since the Southeast Asia tour is just around the corner. It's starting from Malaysia on the 29th to the 9th, and then it will follow to Indonesia, 10th to 9th to the 18th, I think, and then move on to Thailand. So then followed by Vietnam, and Singapore. We'll end in Singapore. So that, can we just give a Bandhan for a successful self-realization tour? Because
Yes,
it's been
sure.
happening after a long time. So it would be good gift for Sri Mataji, that we all the children from Southeast Asia and other parts of the world, they are coming to join us also to support this event. We also have Brother Bagus for Indonesia. He stays in Japan, but his sister and Bagus really wonderful channels of Shri Mataji, working from two different countries for Indonesia, although they are in Japan and Ukraine, but they're working so hard to ensure that things move on in Indonesia as well. So we give them all the support as well. And as we speak, all of us are also the co-hosting countries for the Ganesha Puja in Capella. We'll also send our love to Capella for this International Sri Ganesha Puja Festival, which is going on. We hope everybody is, enjoying themselves there. Although we are not there in person, we are there in spirit. So let's put our heart and soul and pray for the entire world to have a blessed Sri Ganesha Puja, to all our Sahaj brothers and sisters, and to the general mankind. We pray for their good health and also for them to get their self-realization soon. So we can go on to some meditation with a little bit of music before we wrap up the session. Thank you so much, Sister Saraswati, for your beautiful
Most
input.
welcome. Thank you so much for inviting.
Our love in regards to the entire Thai collective. And we hope to see you soon. Yeah? Jai Shri Mataji. We'll continue with some meditation. With some music. Some raga and also followed by the flute music. Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you. Dear brothers and sisters, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you continue to join us every Tuesday, same time. And wishing all my brothers and sisters, or rather our brothers and sisters, from our team, we wish all of you to have a blessed and a blissful Sri Ganesha Puja. May we imbibe and manifest all these divine qualities within all of us. Jai Shri Mataji.
Yeah, it is still showing what's going on. And now, oh, Bhagwat is also here.